David DeJesus was a Cub for less than 2 seasons, but certainly made an impact with his approach and clubhouse leadership. Earlier today, traded to tonight's opponent, the Washington Nationals. And we're set for Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet. Another beautiful night here in Chicago, and the Cubs host the Nationals in the first of a 4-game set. Great to have you with us, Jim DeShays and Len Casper. A bit of a surprise, I think, in terms of where David DeJesus ended up. The Nationals 9.5 out of a playoff spot, but dealt there for a player to be named later.
And perhaps the Nationals see David as a fit for their ball club, not only this year, but next time will tell. Solid work in a Cubs uniform, better than a year and a half, 232 games. Hit for a decent average, a good on-base presence at the top of the order, good solid defender in the outfielder, always came to the ballpark with a little bounce in his step, smile on his face every day. He will be missed in that clubhouse, but good luck to David DeJesus.
Not in the Nationals lineup, but if he does get an at-bat late, I would imagine he'll get a nice hand from the Wrigley Field crowd. Pitching matchup, Jordan Zimmermann, the All-Star, and the struggling ace for the Cubs, Jeff Samardzija. Coming up, the Nationals certainly underachieving offensively. They have not scored enough runs this year, but a lot of big names in their lineup, including Ryan Zimmerman and the red-hot Jason Worth. Nats and Cubs are next.
Your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all. BMO Harris Bank, helping money make sense. BMO Harris Bank, NA member FDIC. AT&T Uverse. Visit att.com/freeyourtv. Rethink possible. Ford. Check out America's freshest lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com. And by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
Welcome back to beautiful Wrigley Field, the Nationals and the Cubs. Tonight's military recognition, Boatswain's Mate Second Class Anthony Griffith, a native of Park Forest, Illinois, second class petty officer in the Coast Guard, currently serving at Station Calumet Harbor, and recently returned from a year-long deployment in the Persian Gulf. Great to have him here. And also great to have Sergeant Bobby Pizer here. Will be retiring after 21 years of service for both the United States Army and the Air Force. She's been a Cub fan her whole life. She now lives in Arkansas, and she gave me this medal. She served in Iraq and received the medal from Brigadier General Scott W. Jansen. And she told us, JD, that watching Cubs baseball and listening to us call the games on the Armed Forces Network really helped her get through her stay overseas. And it's great to have her back here in her hometown and enjoying the game tonight.
Yeah, just wonderful to meet her, and we congratulate her on her fine career. And maybe she can bring the Cubs a little good fortune here this evening.
It's been a rough go here at Wrigley. The Cubs are 1-5 on this current homestand and have lost 13 of 15 here in the friendly confines. Have been too friendly, unfortunately, for visiting teams. The Nationals, as we mentioned in the open, they come in 9.5 back for the second wild card. They're already way out in their own division, 15.5 games behind the Atlanta Braves. JD, this was a team that had the best record in all of baseball last year.
Yeah, 198 ball games, high expectations coming into this year. A lot of people picked them to win the division. A lot of people picked them to go all the way to the World Series, but it has not happened. They're clinging to some measure of hope that they can get back into this wild card thing, but it's not very realistic. 9.5 back, and they have to climb over a couple of clubs. And what is supposed to be Davey Johnson's final year managing the Nationals, that was apparently the agreement prior to this year. He will stay under contract for next year as a consultant to the club. But just a very tough year for the Nationals. Offensively, they've really struggled. Their pitching's been fine, not as good as it was last year. But it's been primarily a lack of runs that have hurt the Nationals, and that's been the story for the Cubs here lately. In their last 10 home games, they've managed to score just 18 runs.
So Jeff Samardzija getting set for his start. The Nationals here at Wrigley Field for the first time in 499 days. Yeah, that was the first series of last year when Steven Strasburg started on opening day. Now their Southwest starting lineup. No DeJesus or Hairston. Remember, Scott Hairston a few weeks ago was traded here. So Span, Zimmerman, Harper at the top. Worth probably the hottest hitter in baseball the last month and a half. LaRoche, Desmond, Ramos, a catcher. Anthony Rendon has taken over at second. Danny Espinosa is back in the minor leagues. And Jordan Zimmerman, the pitcher, will hit ninth.
Well, we'll take a look at the Cubs defensively. Note, no David DeJesus as he's wearing the other team's colors now. So Darnell McDonald gets a start in left. Lake Patrol center. Nate Scherholtz in right. Murphy, Castro, Barney, Ransom in for the ill Anthony Rizzo at first base. Deanna Navarro behind the dish for our Alexis pursuing perfection. The starting pitcher Jeff Samardzija, and he's just pursuing good right now. He has really struggled of late. 6-11, 4.29 the ERA. He's 0-2 in 3 August starts with an ERA above 9.
Laz Diaz will call balls and strikes. Bill Miller at first. Mike Winters, the crew chief, is at second, and Tim Timmons is at third.
Jeff 1-2 in his career against the Nationals. 10 games, 3 starts, the rest out of the bullpen. He pitched against him this year back in May in the nation's capital, and that one did not go well. He allowed 7 runs, 5 earned in 5 innings of work. Cubs lost that one 7-3, but the Cubs did win 2 out of 3 in Washington back in May.
Dale back in his normal spot after getting ejected for the 5th time this season yesterday, after what I would dub a phantom swing. Phil Cuzzy thought he saw a swing where there was none. Anyway, new day, and a strike called. Samardzija to Denard Span. Cubs took 2 of 3 from the Nationals in Washington back in May, but they've dropped 11 of the last 17 between these two clubs. Weather heating up just a little bit, and it should get warmer every day this week. And I think for the first time, or maybe just the second time in the homestand, the wind's blowing out. Expect it to blow out just about every day in the month of August, but it has not. Southwest at only 4 miles an hour. A comfortable 77 degrees.
It does feel a little bit more like summer, though. A little stickier. Temperatures on the rise. Should be good conditions for the hitters here in this 4-game set.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Span, first strikeout victim.
Well, that's one way to neutralize any kind of wind. Just throw it by the hitter, as Samardzija does here. 91-mile-an-hour fastball up above the hands.
Bring up Ryan Zimmerman. Started the year hitting 4th, then hit 3rd, then back to 4, then back to 3rd, and recently put in the 2 spot. Davey Johnson's just been looking for any sort of combination. He's used 9 different players in the 2 spot. He's had 7 cleanup hitters.
Davey, the National League Manager of the Year last year.
Zimmerman bounced that one off his front leg. So Zimmerman, the all-time Nationals leader in just about every offensive category. But if you go back to the Expos days, he's got a bunch of Hall of Fame caliber guys and a couple in the Hall of Fame ahead of him. Got to keep that great logo alive.
Funny, when the Expos were in Montreal, nobody wore that hat outside of Montreal. That's kind of trendy.
Yeah. Cody Ransom, as JD mentioned, Anthony Rizzo under the weather, a bad migraine headache last night. Hopefully it's just a day, and he'll be ready to go tomorrow evening. 2 outs. Here's Bryce Harper. Actually has struggled as of late. 9 for his last 48. 2-time All-Star. Last year as a 19-year-old. Doesn't even turn 21 until the middle part of October.
An amazing talent. Can do it all. Except for hit left-handed pitching. At least that's been the case this year. Not relevant here with Samardzija on the bump.
Foul tip, strike 2. Batting average down 6 points from what he put up last year, but the on-base percentage 25 points better, and slugging a lot better than he did when he won the Rookie of the Year. And he just pokes that ball to the opposite field for a 2-out single on an 0-2 offering.
That kept the hands back on what appeared to be a split finger pitch. I'm sure Jeff would tell you he wanted to bury this ball down in the dirt, but he left it up and then allowed Harper to slap it into left. It's a splitter that was off the plate but up a little bit. Harper spent about a month on the DL with a knee. Worth, Zimmerman also spending significant time on the DL. That's been a part of the story with the Nationals. Sure. They've been banged up a lot.
Yeah, the parts have not added up to what you would think the sum would be. Certainly did last year, but you look at the names on this roster, doesn't make sense that they're under 500. Worth coming in with a 10-game hitting streak, but he hits into a fielder's choice, and quickly the Nats done in the top of the first with the Cubs coming up. The guy tied for the National League lead in wins with 14. That's Jordan Zimmermann. Here's their Southwest starting lineup. No David DeJesus. He's on the other side. Junior Lake in that leadoff spot. Probably see him there a lot. Barney Navarro hitting third. Sherholtz cleaning up. Castro hits fifth. Murphy sixth. And the bottom three goes McDonald, Ransom, and Samardzija.
The Nationals on defense, they made 84 errors, fifth most in the National League. Good coverage in the outfield with Harper, Span, and Worth. Issues on the infield. Ryan Zimmerman's made 17 errors this year, 12 throwing. That's been a problem the last couple of years for him. Desmond Rendon cover the middle, and Adam LaRoche is the first baseman. Wilson Ramos behind the plate. Our Lexus starting pitcher for the Nats is 27-year-old Jordan Zimmermann. Boy, he's a good one. 14-6, 302. He's an all-star this year. Doesn't walk many. Live arm, mid-90s fastball, hard slider, good curve.
Yesterday's Cardinal winner Adam Wainwright with 14 wins as that kicks away from Ryan Zimmermann. Lake on his way to second, and he could have gone to third. It's a double. I didn't even have time to ask you what the odds were he would swing at that first pitch. I'm guessing you would have said the odds were good.
Yeah, I would have hedged my bet and said high. Zimmermann very aggressive, throws a lot of strikes. Junior likes to swing the bat early. So an off the glove double. And it would have been a foot race to third base had he turned second and headed to third, because you see Zimmermann, he stays in hot pursuit after it kicks off his glove. Like Desmond would have been able to get back there and cover.
Going to see if he missed first. He did not, according to Bill Miller.
And Bill was right on it. I was watching. He stuck his nose right on the play. He was watching Lake, and you can understand why they would appeal, because his head is up. He's watching the ball as he gets to first base. Free to ask.
With bunt, Zimmermann will get Barney. This is a 4-game series, so you're going to see probably a lot of ground balls to third. That's the kind of play Zimmermann likes. He likes to be on the move. He struggled with some of the routine throws coming back from shoulder issues, and his manager actually recently said if those throwing issues don't get resolved at some point, he may have to switch positions.
Yeah, he's good on the move. He's good from down there. It's when he comes over the top. And last year they were saying, well, it's just because of the injury. Now I think it's gotten in the head. It's kind of yippy for him. It may have started with the injury, but I think it's kind of in between the ears right now a lot for Ryan Zimmermann. Spectacular defender otherwise.
Infield back as Deanna Navarro takes ball one. Nationals have a lot of Midwest roots in their traveling party. Their general manager, Mike Rizzo, grew up a Cub fan from Chicago. Zimmermann's from Auburndale, Wisconsin, the central part of the state.
Count of about 800.
There's Mike Rizzo, recently given a promotion. He is now their president of baseball operations.
Took a lot of heat last year when they shut down Steven Strasburg, and the thinking was, hey, we've got all this frontline talent. We'll be back.
Navarro walks. Bring up Nate Sherholtz.
It hasn't worked out for the Nationals this year, but that doesn't mean it won't in the future. And he's been on a nice roll, has Zimmermann. He was 12-3 before losing 3 in a row. Now in 2 of his last 3.
I got a note for you, partner. Jordan Zimmermann has not walked 2 consecutive batters since May 12th of last year. 50 starts and over 300 innings ago.
Yeah, he's a strike thrower. Strike one about 68% of the time.
Missed on that one to the Cubs right fielder.
Tommy John surgery cost him a good chunk of 09 and 2010. But he's sturdy, 27 years of age. Very stoic on the mound.
Like M's and N's, he's got a lot of them. 2 M's and 3 M's and 2 N's in his last name. Got to add that extra N.
That could trip you up on Hangman. Baseball Scrabble.
Made already a career high 16 home runs. He has tied his single season high in hits, 93, matching his 2011 total.
No Rizzo tonight, puts a little extra pressure on Schierholtz and Navarro. Right-handed hitters have done very little against Zimmerman. So this is kind of what you're hoping for. Get some RBI opportunities for the left-handed sticks.
It has not been pretty here lately. Cubs are 2 out of 26 with runners in scoring position on the homestand. In their last 14 here at home, they've been held to 2 or fewer runs 9 times and have been shut out 6 times. But an early opportunity here this evening, and that ball is hit to deep right. Worth back to the wall. It's gone. It's a 3-run homer for Schierholtz.
Well, the formula successful in the first. Couple on for Schierholtz, and he delivers. And Zimmerman relying heavily on the fastball, opts to go with the slider here to Schierholtz, or a curveball, whatever it was. It was a hanger, hung right there in the hit me zone. You can see it on our Ford home run replay. Breaking ball that didn't have a whole lot going for it.
Number 17 for Schierholtz. Well, that one swing has outscored the Cubs in a lot of games lately here at home, as I just mentioned. 9 times out of their last 14 they hadn't gotten to 3 runs, but they have tonight here in the first inning, and it's 2-0 on Castro. Fly to right. Jason Worth will haul in. 2 away. Jason Worth from Illinois, Springfield area. Now Donnie Murphy hitting an even 300 in a dozen games as a Cub.
Look out, folks. Murphy goes up there ready to swing. He likes to attack that first good fastball. And you saw one there from Zimmerman, just get the head of the bat out. Zimmerman on his game, went on his game. Can get a lot of strikeouts, but he gets a lot of ground balls too. Typically does a good job of working both sides of the plate with his fastball. Throws that 2-seam runner in on the right-handed hitters.
Placing David DeJesus on the active roster, Brian Bogus 7 was activated on the 15-day disabled list. Had a left hamstring strain, but Brian not in the lineup tonight. Nate Schierholtz in that lineup and cranking his 17th homer, driving in runs 53, 54, and 55. It's 3-0 Cubs. An early lead for a struggling pitcher. That's always a good thing as Jeff Samardzija faces Adam LaRoche in a first pitch strike. 3-0 Cubs. LaRoche with a game-winning homer in the 15th on Saturday in Atlanta.
Play him to pull on the infield straight away in the outfield, and that's what you typically see from LaRoche. If he hits it in the air, he'll go alley to alley. There's good power to left center. On the ground, it's much more likely to be to the right side.
Jeff's had some good spurts in recent starts. It just seems like one or two things happen to go wrong, which end up derailing the whole night. Real grind in his last outing against the Reds.
Fastball command has been an issue. Now his velocity's down. I noticed in the first inning a lot of 91s. That one clocked at 90 miles an hour, and typically he's 94, 95, and at his best you see him touch 98.
Full count, 3-2. His nemesis Ian Desmond is on deck. Desmond 8 for 13 against Jeff Samardzija. Desmond had a huge series against the Cubs in May. That one lined into right for a leadoff single. In that series in May, Desmond went 6 for 10, 2 doubles, 2 homers, 2 walks, 5 RBIs for an OPS of over 2,000.
Yeah, good, solid player. Better offensive shortstops in all of baseball. Numbers down this year compared to last year, but still pretty solid stuff. Lots of home runs and doubles. Steal a bag for you.
The 1-0, big swing and a tapper foul. 1-1. Next 3 home series for the Cubs will be against the National League East. The other East team that has already been here, the New York Mets. They'll have to play the Phillies, Marlins, and Braves.
Oh, yeah, the Braves are still in the league, aren't they? When did we see them?
Second series of the year. Found back our way.
The Braves obviously having a great year, and that's been the big problem for the Nationals. They can't find a way to beat their NL East rival. Just lost 2 out of 3 one-run games. A lot of drama. Harper was hit. Strasburg was ejected early. They are 4-12 against the Atlanta Braves.
And if you double play chance, got it. And Desmond runs well. That goes 1-4-3 on the twin killing.
Not the best feed to Darwin Barney there at second base, but he made it work. Floated it a little bit. And Darwin finished it off.
What is it about you pitchers throwing the bases?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. The guys who make their living by throwing a baseball accurately, when has to do it to that square pillow, it becomes an issue.
I think a lot of it is a lot of pitchers don't play catch. They when they do play catch, they use their delivery. So when you have to just quickly throw, that's not something they do a ton of.
And that's why they're always yelling at you, step and throw. And what tends to happen is guys goose the ball a little bit instead of putting something on it. Go ahead and step and let it go.
One and nothing on the catcher, Wilson Ramos.
And he's working uphill there, which is a little funky. You're used to coming down the hill when you pitch. Ideally, if you have time, you'd love to be able to clear yourself and get to flat ground before making that throw, but he didn't have that luxury.
Two balls and a strike. Make it 2-2.
That's the thing when you look at the Nationals, see how good they were last year, struggles they've had this year. And if you're Mike Rizzo and you're charged with fixing it, there's really not a whole lot you can do. You look at their everyday players, they got all good guys, solid young core.
Swing and a miss, and that'll end the inning. Double play ball and a strikeout helping out Samardzija. Well, he looks like he needs a haircut, doesn't he? 3-0 Cubs.
Mobile game from MLB.com. She was one of 32 home run derby competitors, including everyone from the 2013 Derby. Available on iPhone and iPad and select Android devices. Download MLB.com's home run derby game for free today. Hey, they're rocking some hair out there.
And send us your comments on tonight's game through Twitter using hashtag Cubs Talk. We will read one back later in the game. Our AT&T tweet.
Wind must be blowing up.
Cubs lead 3-0. Back to work offensively. Darnell McDonald with his second start as a Cub, batting seventh and playing left. Zimmerman's pitch, low and outside.
I might have to turn my fan on. It's a little toasty here this evening.
It is. Normally this would be kind of the respite from the real hot stuff.
Yeah, it's spoiled.
A chopper. Rendon, the second baseman, will make the play.
Rendon's had his issues defensively too. He's committed 14 errors and he hasn't been here all year, but reputation is very sure-handed. He's their first-round pick just a year ago out of Rice University.
Ransom, who is making his 41st start of the year, the third at first base. And as you see, has been scuffling here in the second half. 4 out of 50. Outside, ball 1. Cubs facing nothing but right-handed starters in this series, continuing quite a trend. The 11th straight game they faced a righty. Zimmerman gets Ransom.
First look at Zimmerman in this series with a more traditional overhand throw. He made that play on the bunt by Barney. You can see the funky arm action that he uses now. Just kind of lays it back and slings it over there. So just kind of unnatural looking.
Foul strike on Samardzija. Tapped right back to the pitcher. 3 quick ground ball outs, which gets us through 2 innings. The Cubs lead the Nationals. It's 3-0. Edition of the documentary web series from the Road to Wrigley. Watch the Foundation Kane County Cougars. In this episode, go inside a late season matchup of dramatic proportions. Star player Dan Vogelbach bids farewell to Kane County on his way to Daytona. Watch the Foundation, presented by The Great Escape, online now only on csnchicago.com. News of the day: Albert Pujols shut down by the LA Angels of Anaheim. He's had that plantar fasciitis in his left foot. I guess will not have surgery, and they hope he's ready to go come spring training. Think about Albert. He's battled the foot issue for off and on for a while, and remember, he had the torn ligament in his elbow early in his career. He was playing left field. He's played through a lot of injuries throughout his career. As he 0-1 to Anthony Rendon, the second baseman. He pops it up, and it'll be Junior Lake, who almost overran it.
Junior misplayed a ball out there yesterday, critical misplay. And look of relief on the face of Jeff Samardzija as Lake almost overplays this one. His feet like they started to come out from underneath him as well. That would have been ugly. But all's well that ends well. One out here in the Nationals third. There's going to be a bit of a learning curve for Junior. Keep playing hard. Well, you know, Albert in all those years in St. Louis, they were always in the middle of it, right? They're always in a race, and you couldn't afford to shut him down. I mean, obviously there were times when they flat out couldn't play him, but that's not the case in Anaheim now. They are 13 games below 500, 15 and a half behind the front-running Rangers.
Popped up by the pitcher Zimmerman, back out of play. Not sure if we'll see Carlos Quentin. In fact, I don't think we will this weekend, but 50-50 chance he's even back at all this season, according to his manager, Bud Black. Castro throws out the pitcher. 2 down.
Beginning of the school year is just around the corner. Still time, though, to bring the family out and enjoy a game here at beautiful Wrigley Field. Tickets available for the next 3 games against the Nationals. That's night games tomorrow and Wednesday. Day game on Thursday. To purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com.
Span with 2 outs. The Nationals have scored 2 or fewer runs 54 times this season. That one rolled into center. Only the Miami Marlins have had more such games in all of baseball this year. Low scoring games. They've got a new hitting coach, Rick Shue. He replaced Rick Eckstein on July 22nd.
Rick, really big shoe.
Right.
Nationals 13th in the league in runs scored. Last year they were 5th.
We talked the other day about Mike Rizzo and Davey Johnson. They have a pretty interesting relationship. It's very honest, and a lot of it gets out publicly. The move to swap hitting coaches was made by that guy, not by the manager. Davey Johnson was very public that he did not agree with the firing of Rick Eckstein.
And I think that's the case in most midseason coach firings. Yep. The manager doesn't want to see his guy go. The general manager feels like he has to do something to shake things up.
Pitch blown outside.
You know, and I don't know the dynamic in Washington. I know in some cities, some clubs, it's a little tougher on the GM because the owner's on the phone. Hey, what are we doing to get better? What are we going to do? How are you going to fix this? Sometimes it's
somebody's head has to roll.
Yeah, it's just we're going to get the owner off our back. We're going to try something just so that we're trying.
Zimmerman singles, back-to-back 2-out hits. Well, I asked Mike Rizzo about the manager situation for next year, and he said that the stance right now is we'll figure that out after the season. Focused right now on tonight's game and this season. Harper with 2 on and 2 out.
He said last time up on an 0-2 split finger pitch. It was off the plate but up a little bit.
I think that's a real important pitch for Jeff moving forward. Anything other than his fastball that he can get over early in the count. He really does like his fastball, and that's obviously the pitch he can control the best. Bounced over the mound. It'll be charged by Castro. And the lob toss to Ransom in plenty of time. So the Nats with 2 2-out hits, but Samardzija gets Harper to end the inning.
3:05 ball game. First 10,000 will receive an exclusive limited edition Anthony Rizzo a bobblehead. For more information or to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com.
Unfortunately, as Lake bunts toward third, barehanded by Zimmerman, they got him. Good bunt, better throw.
Second time they've tried Zimmerman tonight with a bunt. Both times he's been up to the challenge. First Barney, now Lake. Heck of a try by Junior Lake. Just a sweet play by Zimmerman.
This will be the challenge for Junior Lake and for Dale Swain. If you want him to be your leadoff hitter every day, and he came in hitting .308, he's going to be really aggressive. Tonight, 2 at-bats, 2 pitches, but almost 2 hits.
Yeah, and he's not a real patient guy, so you don't change the hitter. You don't say, hey, now's the leadoff man, we need you to take a bunch of pitches. Especially a young guy like Junior Lake. Just go do what you do. Yep. Just go play the game, and we'll decide down the road whether you're fit at the top of the order or not.
1-1 on Barney. I was going to say, unfortunately, tonight, I have to check the Anthony Rizzo bobblehead temperature.
Yeah, put a little ice pack on that bobblehead. Yeah.
Since the home run, 6 in a row retired by Zimmerman, and that streak comes to an end as Barney rifles one into left center. Speaking of Anthony Rizzo, let's go back to an excellent catch he made, our Coors Light freeze can from yesterday.
Yeah, second outstanding defensive play in the inning. Barney had one earlier on Holiday, and then Rizzo going over the top, just tumbling into the dugout to secure that baseball.
So appreciated the sportsmanship, as he said. The Cardinal players and coaches keeping him from falling on the top of his head into that dugout. Called strike on the switch hitting Deoner Navarro.
Ty Cobb would have let him fall.
I think a lot of guys would have. Trying to think of how many dugouts in baseball do not have a barrier in front of it. I want to say Tampa Bay, the Dome. Do they have like an actual dugout with or is it just an area that's covered?
I don't know. Yeah. Used to be a lot of those old multi-purpose stadiums.
Yeah.
They get it was at field level, and you just kind of walked in, walked out. Three Rivers was that way. The Vet was that way.
Yeah. Dolphin Stadium, or whatever you want to call it, did not have a barrier in front of it.
Low player, Land Shark, Jimmy Buffett Ballpark.
Harper in left makes the catch, 2 outs. Yes, Tropicana Field does have a barrier in front of the dugouts.
Get after it, young man. Don't get cheated. Holding out on the little fella.
Three-run homer in the first for Scherholtz.
He has done a lot to help the Cubs this year. He's done a lot to enhance his value.
That ball will drop fair right down the line. Darwin Barney's going to be set. Here comes the throw by Worth, cut off by LaRoche. He'll score standing, and Scherholtz has driven in 4 tonight. in his first 2 ABs.
Well, there's your early leader for player of the game. Home run, now an RBI double. Got in on him a little bit, but he was able to get enough of it. And as Worth has to take a little time to gather it up, you see Barney giving David Bell a chance, going hard the whole way, assuming nothing, and David Bell cranks him home. Great base running.
He's got the front wheel of the cycle already in place. About you, but and I haven't seen a ton of cycles. I've seen a few in person, but I always like the triple or the home run to be the last one and not the single. You never want to tell a guy to strive to hit a single.
Yeah. The guy hit one in the corner and he pulls up at first.
Right.
Kind of an odd deal.
It's a neat stat, but I don't know if it's something you strive for.
To me, if you get 2 doubles, a triple, and a home run, that should be a cycle.
Because
you got at least kind of the single.
Assume.
Yeah.
I like it. It's like a cycle plus.
4 of a kind is good, but you want that Yahtzee. You want it all. Talked earlier about Zimmerman's ability to get in on right-handed hitters. That was his intent there, but he missed. Pulled that one across, out over the plate, up. Castro not able to square it up.
Got him. Called strike 3. But it's been the Nate Scherholtz show so far. 4 RBIs in his first 2 at-bats, and the Cubs lead 4-zip. Cool Ranch Doritos, Locos Tacos from Taco Bell. Live Moss. Great work as always by the Menards grounds crew here at Wrigley Field. Cubs behind Jeff Samardzija and Nate Scherholtz holding a 4-0 advantage. As a red-hot Jason Worth will bat for the second time. One pitch his first at bat, and he grounded into an inning-ending fielder's choice. Came in hitting .500 in August. National League Player of the Month for July. And he might battle for the NL batting title if he can remain healthy the rest of the way. Came in at .334. Chris Johnson of the Braves leading the National League at .335. Worth 10 plate appearances shy of qualifying. He's been terrific since coming back last year from left wrist surgery.
Long and strong.
Up in the air. Lake.
You get the sense of Junior roaming around up there. The corner outfielders are always kind of peeking out of the corner of the eye. Where is he? Ball drifting towards Scherholtz, but Lake was not yielding, so Nate wisely yielded.
Quickly, who won the 2012 Gold Glove at first base in the National League?
Well, Adam LaRoche is batting now. So.
Would you have known it had he not been
No,
batting?
I would not.
Yeah, it was Adam LaRoche. We know who won it at second, Darwin Barney. Well, some more details have been revealed on the Gold Glove voting. Managers and coaches will continue to get votes. You cannot vote for your own player. But there is a new statistical component that has been added to the Rawlings Gold Glove balloting. SABR is now involved, the Society for American Baseball Research, and they're going to use some advanced metrics. And it's pretty interesting. That's high. They're going to use defensive runs saved from John Dewan's Baseball Info Solutions. They'll use ultimate zone rating. Mitchell Lichtman came up with that. Runs effectively defended.
Ooh.
Chris Dial. And a play-by-play area which has defensive regression analysis and total zone rating. So it gets really complicated, but essentially what will happen is they will convert these numbers into the equivalent of 30 votes. Lake again, this time on the warning track, makes a catch. So it'll end up being about 25% of the votes will come from the stats in terms of who should win it. So 75% of it's still managers and coaches, but it'll be assisted by the data.
That could be a difference maker because you would hope that a large percentage of those coaches and managers would get it right, but we know year in and year out that is not the case. And so many times that Gold Glove, a defensive award, follows offensive performance. We'll just pick the guy who's the best player at that position. Not always, but it happens a lot. Or a guy will get a reputation of being a good defender, and even if he has an off year, he will win the Gold Glove based on his reputation. Managing, oh yeah, he's really good. They don't put a lot of thought into it. They'll look at the stat sheet, see how many errors the guy's made.
And that's not the best way to evaluate defense. It's pretty widely accepted. So the SABR Defensive Index, SDI, and I'm quoting from their website, the committee developed a framework and criteria, or as Lee Ely would say, criteria, to evaluate existing metrics and ultimately aggregated the leading metrics in a balanced way to create the SDI, which is a bottom line measure of an individual player's defensive performance. So there you have it. Would you have a problem if they just went with that number to determine the Gold Glove, or do you think votes from managers and coaches still should apply?
I would not have a problem.
Well, I don't think I would either. 1-2-3 go the Nationals. Still 4-0 Cubs.
Cubs is proud to once again present Social Media Night in the Budweiser Bleachers. It takes place this Wednesday. As part of the Social Media Night special event ticket, you'll receive an exclusive Cubs Social Media Night t-shirt and access to a pregame social event featuring Michael Wilbon and Darren Ravel. Raffle prizes include a first pitch before that night's game, autographed memorabilia, and much more. Visit Cubs.com/special events for details. It's going to be a very social night.
Donnie Murphy gets ready to hit. David DeJesus traded earlier today over to the Nationals, so available off their bench. Dale Swain was asked who kind of jumps into that leadership void.
I don't know if we quite have that guy right now to do anything. Like I said, yesterday about, you people aren't, you're either born to do stuff like that, you're not taught it, you're not, and you don't throw it on people, because the one thing you don't want to do is throw things on people they're not capable of doing or comfortable with doing, because like I just said, everybody has to take care of their own selves, and other people have the ability to doing that and taking care of others too. And that's kind of the nature of human nature.
Donnie Murphy showing a little leadership there by hitting an opposite field home run, and it's 5-0. That's good leadership.
How about Donnie Murphy? Keeps this up, they're going to name a bar after him.
Across the street.
Yeah, right across the street. Ford home run replay. We talked earlier about his ability to handle the fastball, and he got one to his liking. Around Bell tie outer third, and he just rides it on out of here. Pretty swing. Making the most of his opportunity to come up and impress. Fastball, and he stays long through the zone and explodes through that Jordan Zimmerman fastball.
Good to see the offense bust out of it.
Yeah, impressive against one of the best in the league.
I was going to mention it earlier. Adam Wainwright got the win yesterday, his 14th, so he and Zimmerman tied for the league lead in victories. That's a strike on the swing, 2-2.
Despite an off year for the Nationals, Zimmerman has been rock solid.
Be a weird feeling.
Yeah, it's one thing to get traded and pack your bags and move on, but just to move from one side of the ballpark to the other is really bizarre.
I seem to recall going back to last year, and again McDonald went for strike 3, that David had never been to Wrigley Field before he became a Cub, so getting used to the other side of the field.
This was his 4th major league club. Good long run with the Royals and a year in Oakland before his time here with the Cubs. This is good. Maybe a 4-game series, gets a chance to stay in his own bed for a while and
yeah, that's the
come
best
to grips
part.
with this.
Gets to ease in a little bit, and the Nationals are headed to Kansas City next, so that'll be a familiar spot for him as well. His wife Kim, as you can understand, this is a tough day for her because she's from here and a lifelong Cubs fan. But I got a tweet from her. She said, "I'll always root for Dave's team," as she says. I haven't called him Dave. It's still David to me. But his wife can call him whatever she wants. But she said she's a Cub fan, and she always will be. So we haven't lost her as a fan. And it's certainly within the realm of possibility that DeJesus could come back here next season.
$6.5 million option at the Nationals. We'll have to decide whether to exercise or not.
It's low, 2-2.
Bernard Span was the free agent acquisition this winter. He's not going anywhere. Harper's not going anywhere. Worth's not going anywhere. So the bats are going to be tough to come by for David. A good tough AB off the bench.
Well, let's hear from the newest member of the Nationals.
Calling, he's like, he's saying a lot of nice things, and you got traded to the Washington Nationals. I'm like, really? It's one of those moments you're like, whoa. Time stops, and you're like, okay. So my wife, look over my wife, she's crying, because like this is her. She grew up in Wheaton, Illinois, 45 minutes from Wrigley Field, and it's a surreal moment. And I was, I was kind of, it's kind of throwing me off. But you're coming over here, seeing the guys, meeting the guys. It's been, it's been a help, and can't wait to get the game over with. Hopefully after a win today, and then can go home and like decompress a little bit.
Samardzija lines, Worth battling the lights, makes a catch to end the inning. Donnie Murphy led it off with a home run, and the Cubs now lead 5-0. brought to you by Nationwide Insurance agent Jeff Vukovich. Visit jeffvuk.com. Nationwide is on your side. And all guests of the fifth inning here on Comcast Sportsnet receive a 2013 Washington Nationals media guide. There you go, Patrick.
Thank you, Len. I appreciate that.
I know you're working on a Bryce Harper story. Before we get to David DeJesus, tell us what you're working on with Harper.
Yes, his first time at Wrigley Field. He says he loves the place, loves the history here. He also played ball with Chris Bryant growing up in Las Vegas. They were 12 and 13-year-olds. He said there wasn't much of a rivalry. They kind of took different paths. Yeah, but he said, he's a great kid. He always showed a lot of pop. He says he doesn't talk too much, but he thinks he'll be a really good player here for years to come.
Sporting some good hair tonight, too. There's Wilson Ramos to lead things off, the story of the day. And it's certainly never boring around this club, even when things are not going well. David DeJesus traded from one clubhouse to the other. Ramos will line to Sherholtz.
Yeah, he said he was out today with his wife getting juice, and he missed a call from Theo, and his wife joked, "Oh, you're probably traded," and then he calls him back, and Theo said a lot of nice things about DeJesus and said, you're going to the other clubhouse today. And so he made that walk over. And he said he'd never been over that side before. And there were lots of Nationals asking, is the Cubs clubhouse is small and stuff like that. So I still think there's a chance he could come back next year. But a lot of things have to happen between now and then.
Well, he adds depth to the Nationals outfield. But I really thought if he were going to be traded, it would be to a team very much in a playoff race, which he's never been a part of.
Yeah, well, I think we're still kind of surprised that Pittsburgh Pirates didn't make that kind of big move at the deadline. I know they were on Sherholtz for a while. That's the team that you'd think could have used that kind of offensive push, whereas the Nationals are kind of struggling to get back into that wild card race, and they really don't have that many at-bats for them, I don't think.
And I will say this, you guys can disagree would like, but I think this was a no-brainer move for the Cubs. They're going to save a couple of $1 million, $2.5, I guess, when it's all said and done. You've got 39 games to go. You've got Brian Bogusevic back. You've got Ryan Sweeney, who hopefully will be back around September 1st. As much as I love David DeJesus, there are other guys to take those reps in the outfield.
Yeah, well, and not only that, not only the salary relief you get this year, but now you don't have to deal with the option. If the Nationals don't pick up the option, then he becomes a free agent, and then you could talk, and maybe there is a fit coming back. And I'm guessing from the Nationals' point of view, they're thinking along the same terms. They probably don't view him as a $6.5 million fourth outfielder, but get him over, let him see what it's like to be a part of this club, and maybe he would have interest coming back at a lower price. I frankly, I'm not sure what their motivation is. I'm just trying to guess, because it's clearly not about winning this year. They're not really competitive. Don't have enough time.
That's a strike.
Or you think they would have made the move maybe a couple weeks ago, or different team.
1-2 on Zimmerman.
Nationals will probably win 35 games between now and the end of the year and win a wild card.
Called strike 3. Enjoy that media guide, Patrick.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Look forward to your Bryce Harper story on CSNChicago.com.
Queso love to the Chicagoland area. Opt into Qdoba's mobile club by texting Q to 50500 to receive free chips and queso. Who doesn't want free chips and queso? The little guy we showed earlier couldn't reach it. Parents were bogarting with chips and queso. Oh, there he is. He's got a chip.
Got to make a choice.
Chip or binky. It's a new game show on the Toddler Channel. Chip or binky.
Junior Lake shoots one out into left center. Span covering a lot of ground, but Lake will have a sliding double.
Yeah, they seem to come in bunches for him. Back to when he first got called up, that tear he went on, then he dropped off. Heating back up.
Pitches per plate appearance tonight, 1. Actually, that was a 2-pitch at bat, but averaging, let's see, a little over 1.
A little over
4
1.
pitches and 3 at bats.
Keep throwing it in there. He's going to keep swinging at it.
Gives him 5 knocks over the last 2 days. Well, you could bunt him here, as Barney did in the first, but Nate Scherholtz ended up driving him in with a home run.
Yeah, you know, and the same thing here. I think if you're going to bunt here, go ahead and bunt for a hit. One of those deals where you're trying to get a base hit, and if you don't, then at least you move them over. Normally, not a big fan of the 1-run strategy to get later in the game, but got a 5-run lead, just looking to pad it. Wouldn't be a horrible play, and Zimmerman was back a couple steps behind the bag. I'm surprised he wasn't at least even with third base. Bunt here, you might be taking the bat out of Scherholtz's hands ultimately too. Right. Because the way he's swinging it tonight, Davey Johnson, given an opportunity, will pitch around him or put him on in all likelihood.
Well, the Nationals as a staff have surrendered 14 intentional walks. Only the Boston Red Sox with 9 have given up fewer. The Giants have issued 51. So if you want to know about managerial styles, it gives you a little glimpse into Bruce Bochy versus Davey Johnson and John Farrell. A couple of guys who don't believe in the intentional walk and one who does. To people who are around this team every day, they say Davey is definitely a disciple of Earl Weaver. Still manages that way. Doesn't hit and run a lot. He loves the 3-run homer and has had to watch the other team hit one tonight. Three and 2 on Barney. Zimmerman's pitch is lifted foul, first base side, out of play.
And of course, Davey Johnson, now 70 years of age, and had a tremendous career as a manager. I mentioned earlier that he was the manager of the year last year, coming 15 years after he won his first manager of the year award with Baltimore in '97.
Another 3-2 that missed for ball 4. Let's get our AT&T tweet, and it's a good one tonight. When guys get traded like DeJesus, do teams change their signs from base coaches? I would think tonight the answer is yes.
Absolutely. Yep. Typically, they'll change the signs once or twice during the course of a season anyway, maybe at the All-Star break, and maybe more frequently now with all the, the video and the technology and the computers. And clubs I was on, though, it was typical to change them at the All-Star break and then whenever there was a trade within the league. I talk to a lot of coaches now, so that doesn't matter that much because most of the players don't know the signs anyway. I was like, really? And they go, yeah, there's a lot of guys that don't know the signs.
2 on, no outs. Navarro pops it out of play. No sign really needed here with Navarro at the plate. Hit a 3-run homer, DeHonor.
The base coaches will practice giving signs in their hotel room in the offseason home, especially guys that are new to the gig.
I got to tell you, I know for a lot of coaches, it was a big time annoyance when they were required to wear the hard helmets. After the tragic death of Mike Coolbaugh, minor league base coach. But in this spot, David Bell is facing second base, trying to get the best angle here on a ball in the outfield. He's out of that box closer to home plate. So right now he's only about 65 feet from home plate. He's not going to have a ton of time to get out of the way of a screamer. I like having that extra protection. Driven deep, right center, way back there, gone. That's a 3-run shot.
Good call, partner.
8-0.
Right in the wheelhouse for DeHonor Navarro. His 11th Ford home run replay. The Cubs connect for the 3rd time tonight, and they're putting a serious beat down on Jordan Zimmerman. And now finally some action going to start up in the Nationals bullpen. A couple long extra inning games in Atlanta over the weekend, including a 15-inning affair. And fairly well taxed.
Tap back to the pitcher. That's the first out. So Scherholtz retired for the first time. Fernando Abad, left-hander, the watchful eye of longtime big league coach Jim Lett.
Zimmerman 0-2 at Wrigley Field coming into the start, but had pitched well in those 2 games. But tonight, he knocked around pretty good.
Two bounces. Ryan Zimmerman will get Castro.
Watch the Cubs as they take on the Brewers on Friday, September 6th at 1:20 here at Wrigley Field. Throughout the game, lucky seat winners will receive special prizes, compliments of Frito-Lay. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com. Make yourself a Frito pie.
Keeping score and eating ice cream on a stick. What's better than that? Hit a ton, but pulled foul.
Zimmerman never really established any secondary pitches tonight. He's a guy who likes to lean heavily on his fastball, but not really thrown enough quality breaking pitches to get the Cub hitters off of his fastball, and his command has been a suspect, to say the least. The one thing you really have to admire about him is he has not changed his expression, his tempo. He's not allowed the damage he's allowed to scare him out of the strike zone.
Kick's just foul. Well, as rough a night as he's had, at least he's not Lucas Harrell this evening.
What's going on with Lucas?
Knocked out of the game in Texas after 2 1/3, 7 hits, 9 runs. 13-1, the Rangers with 11 runs in the third inning, leading the Astros. Matt Garza pitching for Texas. Called strike 3 to end the frame. Cubs with 2 3-run homers. Deanna Navarro, the latest to go deep, his 11th of the year. 8-zip Cubs.
By GMC. Bears holding their first practice at newly renovated Hallis Hall. Also, we'll hear from Tommy Lasorda and Mike Piazza. Don't miss Sportsnet Central tonight after postgame live, only on Comcast Sportsnet. Tommy and Mike are up to.
Yeah, I'm intrigued. Eight nothing. The Cubs have the lead. Jeff Samardzija getting a lot of run support tonight and hasn't needed much. That's usually a good combination. Maybe Tommy is revisiting his line about Kurt Bavacqua. Said he couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat. Know about his thoughts on Dave Kingman's performance. Donald makes a catch.
Tommy was here when the Dodgers were in town. The city may have gotten the best of him, though. We caught him napping there. Getaway day game.
Ball one on Ryan Zimmerman.
That pitch right there is the one that's eluded Jeff in recent starts. Left side command down and away to a right-handed hitter. That's where it all starts.
Line and caught on the leap by Ransom. Nicely done.
Ransom plays all over the infield. He's got plenty more ups than that. How high was that standing jumpy we had the video on earlier this year? And then you go
Like 60 inches, wasn't it? Harper with 2 outs. So he has batted with 2 outs now all 3 times. Cincinnati leading the Diamondbacks 5-3 in the 8th. Harper now 2 out of 3.
important series for the Diamondbacks as they try to close ground on Cincinnati in the wild card race. That's 5 better than Arizona so far in the standings. Hill hit number 9 for Arizona. Todd Frazier hit his 13th for the Redlegs.
Worth dealing with some lower back tightness the last few days, playing through it.
Pretty good hair matchup right here.
I would agree.
A little envious.
Where are the cow sills when you need them?
Hair wars.
Give me a head of hair. Long, beautiful hair. 2-0, and a very patient hitter. Chops to third. That's it. Not out by a hair, but it would have fit had it been close.
Well, but all the hair those two guys had. Perks Travel Rewards Visa Signature Card. Apply today at any U.S. Bank branch.
Changes for the Nationals. Steve Lombardozzi will come in and play third. He's a switch hitter. Bat in the pitcher's spot. Left-hander Fernando Abad in for Jordan Zimmerman. It was not his shortest start of the year, but it was certainly one of his worst. 8 runs in 5 innings for the All-Star Zimmerman.
This game will surprise you time and time again. Cubs scuffling to score runs. Zimmerman, one of the best in the business, and they blow him out.
Shallow center, and it's Span to make the catch. Tell us about Fernando Abad, a former Astro.
Yeah, Fernando Abad spent a lot of years in the Astros minor league system, and then got some big league time in 2010, 11 again last year. At times showed like he was turning a corner. They moved him from the rotation to the bullpen back, trying to figure out where he was best suited. And he just never really got on track over there. He's done pretty well since putting on a Nationals uniform. Has a real good changeup.
Foul strike on Ransom.
Improved velocity this year. According to Fangraphs, his fastball up 3 miles an hour on average. That's really rare. You don't see guys take that kind of a leap.
Swing and a miss on the change.
Not well located, but he really sells it. Quick hand. 78 miles an hour off that 90-plus fastball.
Broken bat, one hopper, bobbled by Lombardozzi, but time to recover, and they get the out.
Really well executed there by Ramos and Abad. The changeup then hard in with the fastball, breaking the bat of Cody Ransom. The ball always finds the new guy, Lombardozzi, flanking it initially, but scrambling to make the play.
Samardzija 0 for 2. Lined out his last time up. Baltimore chop off the plate, and Abad will make the play. He and Ramos got tangled up, and the inning quickly over. We head off to the 7th. All Cubs 8-0. Treat your guests to an awesome view of Wrigley Field from the Budweiser Bleachers Suite. It features a sports bar atmosphere with new TVs, high-top tables, and windows that open to give you the atmosphere of the bleachers in your own private room. The suite can hold up to 100 guests and includes food, drinks, and parking. For more info, visit Cubs.com/suites or call 773-404-4200. Richard Lariviere, the president of Chicago's Field Museum, will conduct the 7th inning stretch coming up. Inside on Adam LaRoche. 8-0 Cubs. Chance to make it 3 out of 4 in this season series.
70 pitches so far for Jeff tonight. Chance to really take this one deep. Perhaps all the way.
LaRoche stands pretty tall in that batter's box. A lot of different ways to be successful. Guys got Bagwell sit on that invisible stool in the batter's box. Other guys stand pretty straight up like LaRoche, and he sends that deep to left. McDonald racing over. He's got it in the corner for out number 1.
Ran that one down like he was racing Zippy Chippy. The thoroughbred that he famously raced, a decade or so ago as a minor leaguer. A bid for extra bases dies in the glove of Darnell McDonald. Got a big lead, you fall behind, go ahead, pump it in there. See how far they can hit it.
Desmond, 2 at-bats and responsible for 3 outs. 1-4-3 double play and a strikeout. By far the leader among all shortstops with 52 extra base hits. 17 have left the yard. Sharply hit grounder to Barney. 1 out away from the 7th inning stretch. Be the catcher, Ramos. Boy, Jeff has been at his best tonight. No walks here into the 7th. Just 5 hits, 4 strikeouts, a lot of early contact.
Yeah, it hasn't been a dominant performance where he's just blowing people away. He's been very efficient.
At 96 that time.
That's fastball of the night right there.
Saving a little for later. Nothing wrong with that.
To me, I think the key for him tonight versus some of those starts recently where he's gotten hit around a little bit has been the fastball command on the glove side.
That.
Yep.
Cutter. 1-2.
Staying through and driving that ball downhill.
See, Ramos hits more like Bagwell than I thought. Speaking of the Hall of Fame caliber Houston Astro.
Well, he squats for a living, does Ramos, so he might as well squat in the batter's box.
It as well. He's got to have some strong quads.
Mm-hmm.
And he drives this ball deep into the night. On to Waveland. to break the shutout. That's his 8th of the year. It's 8-1.
Almost another one of the Nationals regulars who spent a chunk of time on the disabled list earlier this year.
And a couple of times due to a hamstring issue.
Looked like a splitter that they were trying to go down and away with. That's a tough pitch to execute. Tendency for that ball to drift back to the other side of the plate, as that one did. Our Ford home run replay showing the Nationals getting on the board.
A little shrug by Jeff.
Yep, just a little bump in the road.
Rendon outside. Their #1 prospect, according to Baseball America, going into the year. He replaced Danny Espinosa in early June. Espinosa went to the DL with a broken wrist, then was sent to the minors when the DL time was up. He's hitting .158 through 44 games. 2-0. Product of Rice University. 6th overall pick, 2011.
Grew up outside of Houston, then went to high school, Lamar High School. Big time high school player, outstanding collegiate career at Rice. Best college hitters.
Murphy to Ransom to end the inning. Time for the 7th inning stretch.
Take me out to the ball game. President of Field Museum, Richard Lariviere.
All right, Cubs fans, let me hear you. A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never get back. So it's root, root, root for the Cubbies. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Go Cubbies!
Abad continues on. Cubs batting with an 8-1 lead. Curve missed outside. 2-0 on Lake. He's been very aggressive tonight, and it has paid off. 2 hits.
Abad not wanting to give in, coming with off-speed stuff, but now he's put himself into a bit of a bind. See if he challenges here. 2-0.
Yes, he did.
All right. Out of the zone, maybe, but nothing wrong with coming out of your shoes on a 2-0 heater. Top of the zone. Step out, put all the parts back together. Breaking news out of Miami. Dodgers trailing the Fish 6-2 after 8.
Be 2 in a row.
First time since June 20th and 21st. The Dodgers dropped 2 in a row. That is remarkable. It's really easy to lose 2 baseball games in a row.
Apparently not for LA. So the Rangers 11-run third included a sac bunt by the number 3 hitter.
Really?
Yeah.
The details of that are.
Matthew Pouliot just pointed that out from NBCSports.com. Blake flies to Worth.
Tomorrow. Get right back to Comcast Sportsnet as the Cubs and Nationals throw down in Game 2 of this series. The Nationals' Dan Herron will square off with our own Chris Russin right here at the friendly confines. Don't miss Cubs Nationals tomorrow night at 7 on Comcast Sportsnet.
Leonis Martin bunt single to lead off the inning. Elvis Andrus singled first and second. Kinsler sacrificed. Beltre intentionally walked. Brzezinski 2-run single. Rios a single. Moreland 2-run double. Profar walked. Then Harrell taken out. Murphy reaches on an error. 2 more runs. A walk, another error, and a run. Kinsler with a 2-run single. Beltre grounds out. A run scores. Brzezinski singles again to score a run, and then Alex Rios lines out.
Just imagine what they would have done had they not given up that out.
Gave up 1 out in that inning and scored 11.
I'm not a fan of that button, and I'm not a fan of that intentional walk either, by the way, in the 3rd inning.
It was 2-1 Rangers when it all transpired.
In the 3rd inning. So that's the sabermeticians will tell you. You don't want to play those 1-run strategies early in the game. You play for the big inning. And despite the strategizing, there was a big inning.
Rendon 2 down.
A lot of gray area in baseball, though. We always debate these issues black and white, and a lot of times there's extenuating circumstances.
Guess who hit another homer tonight? John Jay just tied it. 2-run homer in Milwaukee. Cardinals 2, Brewers 2. And a huge day yesterday here. Now 4-2. Okay, so the home run gave them the 4-2 lead.
And the Reds have already won their game. They beat the D-backs 5-3.
Pirates are in San Diego. Good matchup. Liriano and Cashner. Cards only down 1 in the division after the Pirates lost to the Diamondbacks in extras last night, or yesterday. Late afternoon was the final.
Yeah, that one went 16 innings.
Navarro has already homered left-handed, but he walks here right-handed.
So that 16-inning game Pirates and the Diamondbacks played yesterday took 4 hours and 39 minutes.
And the Red Sox Yankees?
Yeah.
Was it 4:10, 4:11?
4:17 or something, and 4 something. I'm going to look at it here. .412.
So it ended after midnight in Boston.
9 innings.
Phillies beat the Rockies 5-4. They were up 5-0, had to hold them off late. So Rhino now, what, 2-2 as the Phillies' new manager. Mets beat the Twins 6-1 in a makeup game earlier today. Marlon Byrd hit his 20th home run. Wow, what a comeback year for him.
'96. This is really amazing.
Don't remember this velocity.
No, this guy was with the Astros. He was 88 to 92, probably.
I don't know if Laz Diaz was watching the game yesterday. I assume he was working somewhere, but notice on just about every check swing he immediately points at a base coach or the base umpire. I think he wants to get caught up in what Phil Cuzzy was involved in yesterday. Another one drilled deep to right toward the pole. Gone! A homer onto Sheffield. Nate Scherholtz, what a night. 6 RBIs.
Wow. Have a night, Nate. Crush that ball. Question was, would it stay fair or not? And you see the reaction from the fans. You see Abad bending, leaning, hoping, and ultimately despairing.
Fourth career 2-homer game. Ground ball off the bat of Castro. Rendon will get him. And the Cubs, with a lot of pent-up offensive frustration in this ballpark, they're taking it out on the National staff tonight, 10-1 after 7. Scherholtz, 3-run shot, first inning. Murphy, opposite field blast, leading off the 4th. Navarro knocking in 3 in the 5th, and then Schuerholz again. Career high 6 RBIs for Nate. The Cubs into double digits in runs for only the 2nd time this season. Lombardozzi with his first plate appearance, and he will make a quick out. Get real-time info, including pitcher gas gauge stats, tweets with Cubs in-game live only at csnchicago.com. Brought to you by Comcast Business Class. Span, and I was wondering if we would see David DeJesus in his Nationals debut, and we will. He's on deck wearing number 4. And when he does bat, according to Elias, he'll be the first player to oppose the Cubs within 1 day of playing for the Cubs since Ted Abernathy in 1966, who was traded to the Braves in the middle of a 3-game set. And by the way, that was the first year of the Braves in Atlanta. Three and 0.
Kind of a surreal feeling for DeJesus down there in the on-deck circle, getting his game plan together to face Jeff Samardzija.
McDonald for out number 2. Here comes the former Cub.
Ladies and gentlemen, pinch hitting for the Nationals, number 4, David DeJesus.
Nice hand for it, David. The tip of the cap to the fans, and now ready to go. And nice to see the appreciation for a guy who really goes about his business the way you would teach every young ball player.
Yeah, you know, and it's not like he spent a lot of time with the Cubs. This is just his 2nd year here, but really a fan favorite because of his approach.
Pops it up. Castro makes a catch. Yeah, it has been a surreal afternoon and evening, to say the least, for David DeJesus. Came to the ballpark as a Cub. He will leave as a member of the Nationals.
Be a Cub for life. Receive a customized photo announcing the birth on the Wrigley Field marquee. The Cubs birth certificate, Cubs baby stocking and cap. And a Cubs Rookie of the Year onesie. Perfect for parents and friends alike. Really good for babies, too. Visit Cubs.com for more information and to sign up today.
Another local kid. Ian Kroll, and Donnie Murphy sends one high and deep to center. And it's gone into the basket. He's hit a couple. And the Cubs have hit 5 here tonight. I believe that has tied their season high for homers.
And nights like tonight are what have given Wrigley Field its reputation. The ball jumping out of here, but these are all good swings, and Murphy continues to swing the bat very, very well in his brief time in a Cub uniform. Forward home run replay shows number 2 of the night, number 6 of the year for Donnie Baseball.
Kroll is from Naperville, Illinois. Greeted rudely by Murphy. Went to Neuqua Valley High School. 7th round pick of the A's in 2009 and acquired from the A's in March of this year. That's Chad Tracy over there at third. It feels like a spring game all of a sudden. Lots of changes. DeJesus is in center. Chad Tracy, a former Cub.
Change up there. Fastball at 93. Curveball and a change up for Kroll. Well, he put some pressure on the pass list here tonight.
All right. You ready for all the changes?
What do you got?
What do we got? Jesus in center. Pinching. Pitcher spot is where Span was.
Okay.
Desmond is out. Tracy goes in the 6th spot. Lombardozzi goes from 3rd to 2nd. Rendon goes from 2nd to short. Don't ask me to repeat it because I can't remember.
Wow. Crossing out my scorebook.
One and two.
All over that strike zone.
Cubs hit 5 homers against the Angels on July 9th, and they've done it again here tonight against the Nationals. 2 down. And tonight after the game, Cap and Holly will have Cubs post-game live presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois. They will break down the game, give you their take on the action around the league. Cubs post-game live right after the contest on Comcast Sportsnet. And oh, by the way, Jeff Samardzija will take his 4th at bat. 94 pitches and a healthy hack that time. Looking for his 3rd career complete game. His first one was at Pittsburgh, his final start of last year. The other one, the best start of his career this season. On the south side on May 27th, a 2-hit shutout. Cubs add more with the home run from Murphy, 11-1 as we go to the 9th.
Field tours. Guided tours include visits to the press box, clubhouses, dugouts, as well as a chance to actually step on the field. This must-see Chicago attraction houses almost 100 years of history. Wrigley Field tours are offered on both game days and non-game days. So visit Cubs.com/tours to book yours today.
Time for our Avis slow-mo replay. Bang. Hanging curveball.
Yeah, and that was a great look as he gets the front leg down and then unloads on that breaking ball from Zimmerman. And then he gets the lefty Abad. Pretty impressive night for Nate Scherholz. A star among stars tonight. A lot of big nights, but none bigger than what he has done. It's his first home run against a left-handed batter this year.
Orange is still throwing hard as he begins the ninth inning. 1-0 on Bryce Harper. On the ground to Castro, and he gets him.
At the risk of being a jinx here, I don't know how many games we've played this year where a pitcher from either side has not had a single visit to the mound from the pitching coach.
Not many. There hasn't certainly been any reason
for
Chris Bosio to head out.
Well, Navarro's trotted out there at all either, has he?
Not that I recall.
Let the man do his job.
Strike to Worth, who's got a 10-game hitting streak on the line. AT&T UVerse Multiview. Two guys on the right. Stay right where you are.
Welcome respite for Chris Bosio, Dale Swaim and company tonight. Going through this stretch where you feel like you got to scratch and claw and fight. And losses mounting. Nice to have an easy win against a tough opponent. Jordan Zimmerman, one of the best pitchers in the league, and he'd been on a nice roll, but the Cubs thumped him, and Samardzija's been in complete control. Well, maybe not complete control. Tried to give Worth a haircut. Trying to go down and away, and look where that one ends up. Reaching back for a little something extra there, trying to finish strong. Took a little too much club.
That pitch was so good, I don't know what it was.
It was a splitter.
It had a little slider action, but I think you're right. The trajectory there, that looked like a split. You're right. Backed up. 2 down.
Fifth punch out. No walks.
31-290 in the ballpark this evening. LaRoche hits it out of play. Jeff's only had 3 starts in his career, and he's gone at least 7 without a walk. Swing and a miss on the split. 0-2.
Airing it out now. He really wants to finish this with a big punch out. Others don't get many chances these days to finish ball games.
In front of the splitter. Barney will field. Samardzija covering, and he completes it for the third time in his career. The Cubs blow out the Nationals. They hit 5 home runs. Boy, the good problem to have is figuring out our GMC player of the game. You had a few choices. Samardzija certainly near the top of the list. Murphy as well, but it's got to be the guy who gave